It's been a busy week in Washington, and we couldn't get through Friday without even more news about the investigations and leaks about possible Trump ties to Russia.
One of those new revelations reports the investigation has now reached into the White House. The Washington Post reports someone currently working inside the White House is a person of interest in the Trump-Russia probe. Washington Post reporter Matt Zapotosky broke the story and joins us from the Post's newsroom. Matt, thanks for making some time for us. You write that a White House advisor is a, quote, significant person of interest in this investigation. What exactly is a senior White House advisor? What does that circle look like? I assume it doesn't include cabinet members?
Well, a senior White House advisor, no, would be someone inside the White House. This would be someone who is a close advisor to the president, is our understanding. We can't name that person now, unfortunately, but this is someone now who is working as an advisor to President Trump.
And you mentioned this probe is reaching into the highest level of government. The investigation might be broadening into investigating whether any financial crimes were committed by people close to the president. What's the significance of that?
Yeah, that's right. So we understand that in the last couple of weeks and even more to come, investigators are going to be issuing subpoenas, possibly trying to interview witnesses. That's really a sign that this probe is heating up. They're getting to a stage of this investigation where they're going to take steps that could become public. If they ask someone to sit down for an interview or send a subpoena to somebody, they know that that runs the risk of becoming public. So when I say this investigation is sort of intensifying, that's what I mean.
You almost need a scorecard to keep track of all these revelations. Just as your story came out and the president flew on that foreign trip, McClatchy had a story, the New York Times had a story. In your reporting, are you finding that Washington is leakier under this Trump administration than you found it in the past? Because that's the line from the administration, that the real story here is that people who shouldn't be leaking are leaking.
I think people are talking to reporters because they have so much relevant and important information to share that they think the public should know about. I don't know that this is any leakier than past administrations, but you know, there's just so much information to be shared and so much important information that should be public, and I think that's why people are talking to us.
And on the heels of FBI Director James Comey being fired, has the relationship between the White House and the intel and law enforcement communities changed since the president fired Comey last week?
Well, I cover the FBI, and I would certainly say the relationship between the president and the FBI is somewhat fraught. After Comey's firing, you had the press secretary come out and say, well, agents weren't really behind Comey. He had lost the FBI. I don't think that is true, and I don't think those comments are particularly helpful. So I do think the relationship there is somewhat strained, and I think, at least inside the FBI, everyone is watching closely to see who he picks to be the new director, and that could go a long way to mending fences that might be broken.
All right, Matt Zapotosky from the Washington Post. Thank you so much for joining us, Matt.
Thank you.